Club Lit. The 49ers come off of a 7-6 season where they went 5-3 in conference play under new head coach Will Healy. And in his first year, the new head coach brought all the charisma in the world, and as a result, they were the biggest surprise in Conference USA. After starting the year 2-5, they reeled off 5 straight wins to close out the season before losing to Buffalo in their bowl game. But hey, no one in Charlotte will complain after the success they had last season. Running back Benny LeMay and quarterback Chris Reynolds led the top-ranked offensive attack on the ground in the entire conference and set a clear identity for this team moving forward. However, Healy will have plenty of holes to fill entering his second season, and it starts at that running back position. Offensive tackle Cameron Clark was one of the best in conference play. Him and 2 other offensive linemen are all departing. Conference USA sack leader Alex Highsmith was a 3rd-round draft pick in the NFL draft. So obviously, they're going to have to restructure their pass rush moving forward. Linebacker Jeff Gamble and cornerback Marquavius Gibbs combined for 189 tackles last year. When you look at who could replace those players, running back Trey Harbison is a transfer from Northern Illinois who comes off of back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Defensive end Tyreek Harris was injured last year, but will slide into that position that Alex Highsmith had. Another injured player was safety Ben DeLuca, who is a lock to record over 50 tackles this season. With those additions, the run game will still be a clear strength for this team, and the defensive line should be able to get up to the quarterback in a similar fashion that they did last year. On the outside, don't sleep on this receiving corps. Victor Tucker was a monster last year. Tyler Ringwood and Cameron Dollar both had good seasons as well. And the energy that this program has around it right now is another strength for it. You can't say that about every team. Every program does not have a coach like Will Healy who is willing to take off his shirt and jump on top of lockers, but they have that. So we'll see how that works out for them this season. When you look at weaknesses, a young linebacking core will be something that you have to watch for this season, and an offensive line that, like we said, has to replace those pieces up front is not something that you can just easily fix. The top end talent is also a concern for me. You don't have Benny LeMay, you don't have Alex Highsmith, and as a result, you have to have players step forward in ways that maybe they weren't expecting to. And that's why the aforementioned defensive end Tyreek Harris and running back Trey Harbison are going to be so pivotal for this team. I have them down as breakout candidates, but a lot of this season could come on how effective they are in replacing those star players. Now let's get to the hot take machine himself, Colin Mitchell.
Expect another season of shirt twirling, fist pumping, and high-fiving shenanigans. With easy games against an FCS school, FIU, UTEP, and Old Dominion, Charlotte will win just enough to see the lights, music, and glamour of Club Lit sweep the internet and route to another bowl berth.
While I agree that Will Healy is an exciting coach and their schedule looks pretty easy on paper, I just don't see the top-end talent that this team needs in order to make not only a bowl game, but a push in conference play, which is what this team ultimately will want to do. Because I'm not looking too much at their non-conference schedule right now. They have a 2-2 record in non-conference play is reasonable, but it's what they do in conference play. And they did go 5-3 last year, but I don't see the same thing because I just don't think their top-end talent is at the level of a Western Kentucky or a UAB or a FAU even. I mean, those are teams that I think have a much bigger skill gap when it comes to the top tier of their teams. I mean, you don't have Benny LeMay, you don't have Alex Highsmith anymore. I'm not ready to go all in on them yet, as much as I want to, and you know I want to.
Yeah, no, I think, but I still think Club Lit's going to make a return. You know, they outside of those top teams that you mentioned, all the other teams are either on par with them or below them in terms of top end talent and depth even. I'd say Charlotte has more depth than any of those teams that I named.
Do you think that a bowl berth will be satisfactory for this program?
I think a bowl berth will be satisfactory for Club Lit.
I understand that. It's like we have to start setting expectations because for every coach and for every program we have different expectations. So I'm just asking what I would
say last year they're kind of looking at it as almost a fluke, and you could tell that by how much they celebrated. So I think this year is more of a consistency year where they want to see to make sure that they can do it again, not necessarily get to the 7 or 8 win mark, but to where they're able to build a foundation year in and year out to where, okay, we can get a bowl game. So I think, although it might not be as exciting if they got 6 wins, I do think it would be satisfactory and might even be their goal for this next season.
I think we're on a similar page here because I have them probably at 5 wins, maybe 4 wins, 4 or 5 wins here, and you have them at 6 wins. So we're not that far apart like we have been on other teams. I I feel like it's going to be a different feeling this year. And you kind of alluded to it, but it's going to be different if you win 5 games against teams you're supposed to beat, and then you don't beat those teams that you were beating last year, where you upset Marshall and you upset other teams and you beat North Texas at the end of the game on a Hail Mary. Like it's going to be a different feeling this year. And that's where I'm interested to see, can Will Healy coach a team that is not exceeding expectations? That's going to be the interesting thing for me.
I think they're just going to meet him this whole year. And I think Club Lit's going to be the story once again.
It will be. If they win 6 or 7 games, it will be the story again. Thank you for joining us for this preview of Charlotte football. Be sure to check out the other videos on our channel as well.